Welcome to Cal the Lamplighter's channel. This channel is going to be a channel about acetylene lamps. So this is just going to be a basic video to start off with about how they actually work. And then in future videos, if anyone wants me to do them, we're going to be lighting them up and seeing how they work and how much they illuminate. So here we've got a nice model. I believe it's a Miller, made by a company, Miller. Is it GH Miller or something? I think it was. You have to correct me in the comment section. I'm not too familiar with the Miller ones. The only reason is this one hasn't got the Miller markings on it because it was a red one, which was used for the post office. So on top of the chimney there, that's where it would usually have the Miller logo, emblem, whatever you want to call it. But this one's been replaced with GPO. Not sure if this was a specific model for the post office, if they had this one made especially for them. I haven't really compared the Miller lights. I'm focused more on the Lucas ones, the Joseph Lucas lights, but this one goes with a bike, so it's in really good condition for its age. Judging by the crow on the top of the crowfoot arrow, I'd say it's probably around the wartime, 1945 maybe or something, maybe a little bit before that. I'm not too sure, you'll have to correct me in the comments about that as well, but overall, for its age anyway, it's an old lamp. It's in really good nick, this one. It always has been. I've had this lamp for quite a while actually. I think this was the first one I actually ever had in my collection. So yeah, kind of a special one, and actually, you know, it's one of the lamps that I've often used, and it's really reliable. Always works, never gives me any problems. Yeah, so it's a really well built lamp, really, especially what they needed for the post office. But yeah, so you can see, obviously, apart from what the usual ones would be, usually they would have been nickel plated, or they would have been like black enamel. I believe they used to call it japanned back in the day. Not too sure why. Maybe some of my older subscribers will be able to enlighten me on that one. But yeah, typically they were japanned black, or for a more expensive price you could have nickel plating. But obviously this has been a post office one, as they did with all their stuff back in the day. They obviously had them sprayed red maybe, just to stop people from taking them home and using them on their bicycles. Same as why they have the GPO on the top there. But yeah, you can see this one is really simple. It's not the heaviest of lights, which is quite nice. So you've got your top section here. This is what holds the water. To make the flame in this, you see, it's a chemical reaction between water and calcium carbide. Yeah, it's quite clever in it. That chemical reaction creates acetylene gas, which is highly flammable. Also, they use acetylene gas in welding, so yeah. Burning, I believe it's about 13 times brighter than a normal candle flame when it burns. But yeah, so you've got your water tank here, which is this section, the top section. This bit here is where you'd fill up the water. Unscrews like that. And you can just fill up the little tank in there with water. I think it's supposed to have a rubber washer around there. It seems to have gone. Not sure where that is, but yeah, you fill up your tank of water there, and then you load in the bottom section a charge of calcium carbide. So you can see in there, there's a plate with a spring on it. And we've also got this thing here where the water drips down into, and it's got holes that have been punched out into the sides of it where the water drips, probably distributes it easier, I'd probably imagine. Yeah, as I say, this was pretty clean, I think, when I got this one. It looked like it had hardly ever been used, this lamp. Obviously I've given it a fair bit of use, this one, so it's become a bit dirty in here now. But yeah, and then this bit usually sits on the bottom like so. You fill your charge of carbide into this section here. Once you've got your charge of carbide, you can see this line here. I don't know if it's going to see that. You can zoom in on that. It says, do not fill above this line. So basically what happens is if you fill it above the line, the carbide expands once its byproduct is produced. So it expands and you won't have enough room in there if you fill it above this line here. So you always keep it below the line on the case bit at the bottom here. After you've got your carbide in there, your spring mechanism will go on top like that. And I guess all that's doing is it's just keeping that sort of compression of the carbide once it's been to, once the chemical reaction's happened. Or I suppose it could be to hold it into place really, actually, instead, so the rocks aren't bouncing everywhere maybe, when it's full. Anyone knows that information, let us know in the comments, I'd be interested to know. So yeah, so once you've got this into here, the carbide into here, sorry, and that's all the water's in the tank, you make sure that this will be screwed onto here nice and tight, like that. So one thing I did replace when I got this lamp was the rubber gaskets around the gas chamber seal here. So you can see it's got a little, almost like a little washer there. Cool, it's stuck. This can be a bit awkward getting if it gets, that's it. It's almost like it creates a vacuum. You've got this plate here which spins off of, it's threaded, spins off of the water dripper, the regulator thing there. That's where your water's coming through from this bit here. Typically you've got your filter there. This one being an original to the lamp as well. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure they used to be horsehair, made out of horsehair. So I've tried replicating a few different materials on other lamps, but nothing ever works as well as the horsehair. I don't know why. Maybe it compacts better, I don't know. But yeah, I guess I just need to find some stables and get some produced, because they're very handy things, these things. It makes the lamps work really well, having the correct filter for it. But yeah, you can see there the gasket. I actually made this one. I just got some rubber gasket. It's not the best of cuts around there. Trying to get a clean cut of a circle with a Stanley is pretty hard. But yeah, I mean, it does the job. It seals what it needs to seal, and that's it. There's no more to it really. So yeah, once it's in here, the carbide, and it's all working, the gas travels up. Remember this plate's here. It feeds through these tiny little holes on each side here. Gas feeds up through the filter, and it becomes into this pipe here, which, of course, if you look, the pipe leads round into where the burner tip would usually be. I don't have a burner tip in this lamp at the moment, but that's where the gas would come up to. So it's fairly simple how it works really. The water drips onto the carbide to create the acetylene gas, which rises up through into the gas chamber with the burner, and obviously once you put a match onto it, acetylene gas is very flammable. So yeah, it's a very clever invention for such a long time ago, you know. And of course back them times, you know, it was a big thing to have bicycle lights, because bicycles were the main mode of transport for many, many years before cars were even invented. And I believe people have been using bicycle lights on their bicycles since around 1878, I believe, maybe around that time. And that's a long time. So yeah, once you've got your carbide in there, put it on, and then you light up your burner in there with a match, and it will illuminate. Got the reflector in here. Did polish that up, made it come up quite nice. Be nice to actually get that to a mirror finish though. I just don't really have the tools for it, but it does the job. It's nice. Does a good job, this lamp. But yeah, real nice little lamp. It's got a little hinge there. I did crack the glass in the last ride. I believe what happened is it was a cheap quality burner that I used, and I hit a bump, and for some reason the flame shot out, and it cracked the glass because the flame was pointing towards the glass when it shot out, and yeah, it just cracked the glass on it, which was a shame. So I had to replace the glass, but yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it? And this little bit down here, you can see it's got like a bicycle dust cap. Basically what this is here is, once you've finished with your lamp, you'd attach your bicycle pump to this, pump through, and it cleans the burner out a bit. And to be fair, I always do that, like with the lamps. I always, like after I've used it, the first thing I do is always get that pump on it, just to get that few bits of like build up that you must get in the jets of the burners. So yeah, I highly recommend doing that, really. I think the other thing I didn't mention really was this bit here is obviously the water regulator. See, it spins around like so, and the more you turn it, the faster the water drips. It's just like a tap, really, isn't it? So yeah, it's very simple. Water just drips, drip, drip. And obviously if you want to increase the size of the flame on the burner, then you'd probably increase the tap, but only ever by like a little bit. I mean, sometimes some of these lamps that I have, they only literally take from, like this one I think as well, from start, you only ever really need it just like that. So you can see that such a short distance has turned, but with it like that, it produces a good enough flame. With a 12.5 litre burner, it would probably last about 3 hours, which it has done in the past. But yeah, really nice lamp, this one. It's got the, we know it's a later one, and that's why I said earlier in the video, I'm pretty sure it's around maybe 1945, around the wartime, somewhere like that. It's because it's got both sides of the green jewels. They originally had red and green, like port and starboard on a boat, but due to some sort of risks about people thinking it was a tail light or something, they ended up changing them both to green. But it's one of the features I really love about these lamps is the little jewels on the side. They just, when they're lit up and they glow, they just look amazing. But yeah, I hope everyone's enjoyed this channel, and that was just having a quick basic overview of how the actual carbide lamps work. This is, before I go, this is the actual fuel, if you like, for it. You can see they're just grey rocks of carbide. Probably need to smash them into a little bit. There's a little bit of powder at the bottom, but that's where they came as massive rocks. I had to break them up, so and I might break them up a little bit more. But it helps to the even flow of gas if you have like nice sized rocks. I mean, back in the day they used to have pellets. You used to be able to buy tins of pellets of them, so you'd get the perfect sort of charge out of every ride. But yeah, strange stuff to think that you just drip water onto it and it creates acetylene gas. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this first video and that. And like I say, it was just a quick overview of how the lamps work. If you're interested in anything I've said, then leave us a comment, like, subscribe of course, and like. And yeah, I'm going to be running down a few videos and just testing out a few lamps really. See how we get on with it. But I just really want to just promote the knowledge of these lamps, because I feel that it's being, well, I feel it's kind of getting lost really, because this generation are sadly dying, I guess. But yeah, thanks for watching everyone. I know I've been rattling on a bit, but it's been an interesting one for me. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, start this YouTube channel, but just never got around to it. So today's finally the day. So like, subscribe, and share, and you'll see me in the next video, and we'll get this little beauty lit up for you. All right, peace.